Today is Sunday, December 10th, 2017. We are on the DAX 30 index standard chart. Okay, I noted last week with my analysis the possible head and shoulders pattern which formed, but ultimately I gave it a deadline as whether it was going to confirm it or not, and this is based on the symmetry or the length of the pattern of the left shoulder in equal to the right. So for example, if I just copy that for a sec, I'll move that back. I'll change the color so it's more visible. There we go. And do that one. Okay. So that's what I mean about the symmetry and understanding if it was going to confirm the pattern and move lower, or ultimately it was going to void it, which it was the latter. Now, as we can see, if we look back over here, we can see this candle on Friday the 1st of December. We've got the 38 Fibonacci, which those who use Fibonacci measurements know how important the 38 is. And as we can see, even though we had a close below the 38, it didn't confirm it the following day. In fact, it actually opened higher, so it totally voided the price moving below the 38. So that was probably one of the first signs that the bulls were defending this level pretty strongly. But then once again we had another back test of the 38, but on this occasion it opened lower and closed higher. So that was ultimately a signal that this overall head and shoulders pattern was not going to be confirmed and will be voided. And we can see on Friday we had some very interesting moves. The DAX opened high and then closed low, which gives us this shooting star with a gap. Now, this is where I'll give some valuable advice to those who trade this index a lot. Personally, I don't trade this index a lot because I don't like the amount of manipulation that goes on and the deliberate traps that the investment banks, the institutions set for the small guys like us, the traders. And here we are. This is a perfect example of the traps I'll set. Now, some of you will probably be looking at this, and saying, oh, okay, here we have a shooting star with a gap. This is going to move lower on Monday and Tuesday possibly. Whereas many times before, when we have these gaps and what signals that could be a reversal candle is in fact we get a total movement in the opposite direction. So ultimately what this is possibly a bear trap. People thinking, oh, okay, I'll take short positions, it needs to fill this gap. We have a shooting star candle here, it should move lower, and then bang, it opens higher. As I said, these institutions like to set these traps time and time again. I mean, all you need to do is just go back over the standard chart, and there's many of them and many gaps. And if one thing I've learned with the in relation to gaps and the DAX 30 index, like the Dow Jones, is these gaps don't get filled straight away. So ultimately this is probably signaling a possible even retest of the high of early November of 13,524. And given that it's voided this bearish head and shoulders pattern, we have to assume that higher prices will print during next week. So ultimately, that'll be my call for the DAX. I'd be looking at higher prices and then see where it moves from there.